inside these patch notes. We about to chill with these patch notes right now. Talking about Guilty Gear Strive version 1.24. So this is the balance update that we've been looking forward to, coming out on the December 15th. We got a lot to talk about here. So their first thing they're going to be talking about is the game modes. Added support for crossplay. So we know the crossplay was coming. So PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and apparently there's an Xbox version being worked on. So the Xbox version, when that comes out, that will also have the crossplay enabled. Player match, you'll be able to enter rooms with players from platforms. Okay, cool. So you can have it on or off. So you'll have exclusive rooms if you have it off. Interesting. So there's going to be like separate rooms. Added a search display filter to cross-platform ranking, combo maker. Okay, cool. So you got like an extra filter pretty much. Now, the network mode. They said there were going to be some network changes. I was hoping that, you know, it would have to do something with like just the menus themselves and inside the lobby system itself. But we're going to see exactly what it says here. Added a function to report other players. Oh, the option can be selected from the player's R code. You know, I've been hearing people say they wanted the option to report players or like block players or something like that. Let's see what this report feature actually does. Reported players will be evaluated from various standpoints. If they are determined to be malicious, measures such as suspending them from online play may be taken. Do not overuse or misuse the report button. That is crazy. What fighting games you know actually got a report button? I don't think I've ever seen a report button inside of a fighting game. I've seen like you got the ability to block people. So if you're doing like rank matches, you probably won't like search them. I've never seen report. Malicious how? So I mean, you know, sometimes people get a little bit too worked up in the games. You know, they start bringing out the slurs, the hate speech and stuff like that. It gets a little too wild for some people. You know, they're very deeply connected when it comes to their gaming experience, and the salt be real. You know, those could be the things. So added a mute feature which hides the player name and any text sent by specific players from your screen. Okay. The mute function can be selected from the R code you would like to mute. The player would not know they have been muted. So if there's a player that is apparently bugging you or following you around, stalking you or whatever around the lobbies, because now remember, we're gonna have the ability to select the lobbies, right? So before you could like have people as a follow, but now is even like probably like worse because now you can select lobbies. So because of that, I guess, I don't know, you can mute stalkers, I guess, or something. So opponents can now be blocked from the result screen after a match by holding the block button. So if you're fighting a player, this is going to be very good too, because now of course we're getting the crossplay, right? So we're getting crossplay on top of being able to see the connections now, right? So say if you play a person, the connection probably look good at first, and you get in there and all of a sudden the connection just like all over the place. You're like, okay, I don't even know how your connection said it was good at first, and all of a sudden it went all over the place. You could block the person. Don't really know what the block would entail though. The names of block players are now displayed in red in our online lobby, so you know that there's so you know they're the person you blocked. So literally, if you block the player, you cannot match up with them. Okay. Searching the R code faster, so reduce the loading time in the R code. You remember when this used to take like really like 2 minutes and you clicked on it on accident? That's no longer going to happen. Now there was a big change. They said they were going to do the rank tower of how they were going to adjust basically being able to like find matches and being able to find matches of your skill level. Let's see exactly how they're going to tackle that. Adjusted rules for assigned floor changes to make it easier to match with players of the same skill level. The rule preventing players from falling below a certain floor even after repeated losses based on a certain input techniques and floors previously reached has been eased. To make it easier to match with players of the same skill level, the rule preventing players from falling below a certain floor. Oh, so there is so I didn't know that was a thing. So apparently if you're at a certain floor, there's a rule where you can't go below a certain floor. So if you're at floor like 10, there's a rule where you probably can't go like below floor 7 or something like that. That's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Added the option to skip the rating updated sequence. So that's something they said. Yeah, they said they were going to do that. So no longer you have to worry about that like coming in the middle of your match. So say if you were like, you had one game left to play and you just started the set and you won the set, it would just like kick you out of the set. Now you can finish the whole set. Maybe you want to run it back with the person. Maybe y'all had a good game, you know? So you can now finish the set and then go for your rank up challenge, your celestial challenge or whatever now. Players can now continue to rematch up to 3 times, even if the assigned floor change. Yep, that's what I was just talking about. So you'll be able to do that. You can select the room you would like to enter from the floor select screen. You can now select rooms with other players already in them or select a new room. That's very good, right? So before you could not select floors. So if I was stuck in celestial and there was a floor that I was in, like, you know, a floor with 24 people, because the max was 24. Now they said it's gonna be 32. If I was in a floor with 24 people, and it was like one person to fight, and they were either dodging or they were AFK. You literally, it was hard for you to find another floor, right, chat? So you were just stuck. Now that's no longer a thing. Changes to the game mechanics. These changes address the issues of difficulty for the defender to launch a counteroffensive due to the attacker remaining at an advantage for extended time. Okay. The tension gauge now increases more the higher your character risk level. Oh, what? That's super interesting. This increases the reward for successfully making it out of a dangerous situation and going on their offensive. Oh, yo, someone was actually talking about, yo, the person who said that in my YouTube comments about like there should be a way that they could give characters like Millia better meter management. I was like, that's kind of hard because of the way Guilty Gear is always like faster characters to typically get less meter. Now, if she ever gets caught in a bad situation and she makes it out, she'll be the first or one of the first to gain the most meter because she gains the most risk gauge. So just thinking about my character, if your character gains risk gauge faster, if you don't know, inside of Guilty Gear, there's different risk gauge like values as far as like how fast it cranks up. So Millia is one of the characters that actually has it cranked up really fast, right? So because of that, she's going to gain a lot of tension as a reward for successfully making it out of that dangerous situation. That is pretty cool. Tension gauge gain rate for the attacker no longer increases when the opponent blocks attacks while the risk level is at max. Oh, interesting. So if you are blocking with max risk gauge, they're no longer going to be gaining tension at the rate that they do. Previously, the attacker tension gauge will increase more and more as they continue their block string and the defender block enough to reach max risk level. This change is intended to alleviate the difficulties switching from defense to offense. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. This is helping you get out of crazy situations. So before, like, you would like get max and like the person is building more meter than you, so then all of a sudden then they RC, and then all of a sudden you really, like, if you weren't at max before, you're really at max now, and then all of a sudden you get hit by anything. You know, they could do tap dust and all of a sudden there's a big counter hit and then you just die. So it's going to try to alleviate those situations a little bit more, helping the defender a little bit more inside of this game. Also rewards characters with weak overall defense options, it seems. Yeah, that's definitely what it seems like. If you don't got DP and stuff like that, this is going to help you out a little bit for sure. It's going to help you get out of those situations a little bit more. You're going to have to deal with a little bit less pressure situations because the opponent that is attacking you is going to have less access to meter that they were gaining before. So risk level now resets when Psych Burst is activated. Psych Burst is often used to escape dangerous situations. When used with a high risk level, though, the player will still be in a dangerous situation even when successful and would take major damage from a punish when it failed. This change has helped prevent the use of Psych Burst from becoming overlimitly by giving it the role of a clear reset. That is pretty interesting. So not only, and they use specifically a time of when it get baited. So basically what happens is, like, if you have a high risk gauge, and remember, we're talking about the person gaining meter, right? All of a sudden your burst come back and you like, shoot, bro, you just want to get them off you or something, or you got hit by one thing and all of a sudden they hit you with like tap dust, RC. All of a sudden you immediate burst off of that because you see the big counter. You're going to take even more damage now because you are still at max risk. So you're going to take mad damage from all the rest of the hits because the hits are going to be non-scaled. Now, if you burst during that situation, you're going to reset your risk gauge. So you're going to still probably take a lot of damage, but it's not going to be that much damage. And remember, they're going to be overall, apparently in this patch, they're overall lessening the damage amount in this patch too. So this risk thing is like how they're trying to do it a little bit, and maybe it may be some lessened damage numbers inside some of these characters too overall. So we'll see how that works. But this is one of the ways they're tackling lowering the damage, is by tackling the system mechanic itself. Risk is a big important mechanic for it, and now the way it is working, they're trying to make it a little bit better for you, which is nice. The rate of risk level depletion over time is now faster. Previously, the defender would still be in danger situation after initially escaping the opponent offense, as their risk level would not have decreased much at all. The change aims to alleviate this issue. So the rate in which it depletes is now depletion over time is now faster. That's good. So if you get out of a situation, you escape the corner or something like that, you're now going to lose your risk faster. And you're also, why is losing faster, you're still gaining meter faster too, because your tension gauge rate is actually higher. So you get a chance to actually, you know, do something now. That's pretty interesting. So rewarding the defender for making it out of a scary situation. Changes affecting all characters. Hurt box. Oh, hurt box is 6p. The height of the hurt box as the attack comes out is now the same for all characters. The height of the hurt box was the same for all characters at the lowest point of the attack. The hurt box height during startup varied between characters. Making the height of hurt boxes as the attack comes out the same means that there is less differences in what strings each character can deal with. Oh, that's pretty good. Special moves with retreating movement. Things like Happy Chaos. So Happy Chaos has this. I want to see what they're about to say. I think I know. These moves can now cause tension balance to deplete. Yep. And the negative values to increase. Similar to backdashes, this change aligns with the overall game direction for adding risk to retreating. So one thing that Happy Chaos used to be can do right now is like when he throws a ball attack, he retreats, but he could do it pretty much infinitely and never gain you know, danger state. He doesn't get the negative penalty. Now they're going to add negative penalty to special moves that actually move you backwards. That's good. So that's the only one that comes to mind. There's probably some other ones that I'm probably not thinking of, but yeah, that's definitely happening, which is nice. And base damage scaling. So not overall they're changing the risk gauge, but they're changing base damage scaling too. Base damage scaling has been added to the attacks that did not have it previously, with the exception of certain moves. This addresses the problem of some characters having moves used in similar waves, but the varying reward depending on whether or not the move had base damage scaling. Some moves such as close standing slash still do not have base damage scaling, meaning they can lead into major damage just as before. So this is trying to balance out the reward. I've been talking a lot about risk reward in this game and how there's characters that have similar tools, but some of them just lead to more stuff, right? Whether it be a combo opportunity or more damage opportunities. They're trying to balance that out a little bit more, which I appreciate, because it felt bad when your character had like a similar tool, but it just felt like a lesser version of something that someone else already had. So yeah, base damage scaling is nice. So we're lowering the damage through risk, giving more opportunities to the defender, giving them more meter, and then changing the damage overall from base damage scaling. So that is going to be a huge change right there. We're going to overall have to see how that changes for each character individually, but overall just know that the damage inside of Strive is going to be a little bit lower. Changes themselves with a little bit more detail. So increase the amount of tension gauge when blocking attacks. The amount gain increases more depending on your character risk level. The amount of tension gain does not increase for the attacking character when an opponent with max risk level blocks their attacks. Nice. Risk level. Increased rate of risk level depletion over time. Universal Psych Burst now resets the risk. That's great. Roman Cancel. This wasn't... Did we skip something? No, they didn't say anything about Roman Cancel, did it? Inputting time window is now the same when performed with attack buttons. Press simultaneously and with the Roman Cancel button. There is now an input buffer window when performed with the Roman Cancel button. Fix the button with tension gauge would not deplete correctly when a Roman Cancel activated simultaneously with the super flash of certain moves. So input time window is now the same when performed with attack buttons. Are they trying to say that they're trying to make it more lenient for you to get fast RC? That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're trying to make it more lenient for you to get fast RCs, because there is a certain timing. It's like not as soon as you do the RC, but a little slightly delayed afterwards. So it seems like they're trying to make it to where the moment you do RC, you just press the button, then you will get the RC button type of thing, which is the fast RC. I don't know why they didn't just call it the fast RC. I think it says that even in the tutorial. So I don't know exactly why they didn't say it, but it's whatever. I think that's what it's referring to. Proximity requirement for attack to connect. So a proximity requirement for attack to connect. Interesting. Okay. When a proximity requirement is added to an attack, this means it no longer connects unless within a defined range of the opponent character's position. The range of the proximity required depending on attack. Without proximity requirement, with proximity requirement. Oh, it no longer connects. I see. So without the proximity requirement, it won't hit him right here. But here it will hit him. So he's getting hit by it and then it comes all the way in. So out there, it won't hit him all the way. Okay, that is pretty interesting. All right, now we're about to get into the meat of this. This is the moment we all been waiting for. The balance changes for characters right here. Soul don't look like he changed much at all. Soul got 2 changes. I hope these are really good changes for Soul if it's only 2. It seemed like majority of the changes might just be system changes, and they gave small changes to the characters. We're gonna see though. The extended range of heavy slash makes his offense using far standing slash even more potent. Oh, they extended the range. Oh, nice. While it is more challenging for him to get huge rewards from mid range, the change to gunflame makes it better at poking from mid range. So standing heavy slash is now going to have an expanded frontal hitbox. So that's the punch, the swing punch, that's now going to be able to hit a lot better. So there's times where you could hit with like far slash, and you hit with far slash, and then like the heavy slash whiffs. So now I guess it's going to be more stable to get that standing far slash into the standing heavy slash. Now that's going to be a little bit more of a consistent confirm because he expanded frontal hitbox. 6S. So 6S, that is going to be his like giant swing attack. So it says decrease attack level, so it's not going to be as strong, right? And once again, if we're going back to what attack level means, all the benefits: extended knockback duration on hit, increased blocks on a hit, increased tension gauge on a hit or block. So he loses some of these benefits of these rewards, so is not going to do as much of these things right here. So it's not going to have as much blocks done on block. It's not going to, you know, extend the knockback. It's not going to give him as much tension. No longer launches the opponent on grounded counter hit. Oh, it no longer launches? Yo, stop it. What does he do off of it then? It no longer launches. That's crazy. Gunflame, decrease attack startup. So Gunflame is just naturally going to be faster now. Decrease the active frames though, so it's going to come out faster, but it's not going to be for active as long. Increase movement speed of the projectile, so it's going to start up faster, it's going to come at you faster, but it's not going to be active as long. So they're trying to like buff Gunflame in the sense of it's going to be a more faster projectile just all the way through as far as its traveling speed and its startup speed, but it's not going to be active as long, so you don't have to worry about like landing on it as much. But yeah, this is overall just a nerf to his 6S. This is the 6S nerf. It no longer launches on hit. That means he loses damage opportunities, and it decreased attack level. So overall, just yeah, it's overall just nerfed. The standing heavy slash is a buff though, so he got like 2 buffs and a nerf. The additions of the guard crush effect to Sacred Edge during shock state and Dragon Stall allows him to maintain his offense regardless of range. Foudre arc now creates less distance with the opponent on grounded hit, making it easier for Kai to continue his offense. So standing HS, expanded frontal hitbox. So standing HS was already like disjointed for Kai, is even more disjointed now, which is interesting. So that now is more disjointed. They just extended it forward. I'm pretty sure it was already disjointed. Foudre arc decreases knockback on hit, so now he can, I guess, did Kai's have a issue comboing off arc? I don't really, never saw that as an issue. But now his supers got guard crush effects on them. So guard crush effect added on the final hit of his super. So now he got things that just do more plus frames, right? He got more plus frames on his guard crush now. That means you can't interact with it. So it's plus frames that you can't interact with. Just keep that in mind. You can't burst it. You can't YRC it. He just gets to get his plus frames. So that is going to be very, very interesting. Nothing really crazy for Kai though. It's just, you know, these are supers that like you really don't see coming to play that often for Kai too. So I don't know how useful these would be. Like most people don't spend meter on that super or that. And you know, just for a guard crush situation, I mean, most people will probably just rather do like something into RC and just be plus anyway. So I don't really think that will help Kai that much. It's a pretty weird choice. I don't know. The standing HS is nice. And the Foudre arc, if people were messing up their combos before, I don't know how, but I guess that could be nice. Like those are the only 2 that I see. The standing HS for sure though. All right, let's see what May got. Mr. Dolphin horizontal has less recovery now when it connects with the opponent. Okay, so she basically gets to act out of it faster. This makes the S version less risky and the H version more plus. Oh lordy, making both more valuable than before. The extra distance for the forward jump also makes her aerial approach more potent. So forward jump increased movement distance. So now, so remember I was talking about before that some characters just have naturally good jump arcs, right? Some characters they jump and then they sink like a rock. Some characters have higher jump height. So May is one of the characters that have the highest jump heights along with Millia, but now her jump arc is also going to go much further. So this essentially is going to apparently help her approach, as they say. Down K, increase active frames and reduce recovery. So this is going to be her little slide attack where she slides on the ground with the anchor. This is punishable, so it's probably going to be just as punishable unless you space it out, but it's now more active. I always felt like it was pretty active already, but now it's more active. So okay. Jumping HS now triggers counter effect. Did it not trigger counter effect? What counter hit state was the jumping, was the down HS? So this is the move where she like sits on the anchor and she like comes down like straight vertically down. This now is going to trigger counter hit. So if it never did do the big counter, you know, before, it's definitely going to do it now. That's what that means. Mr. Dolphin, horizontal, all versions. This is her charge move. This is the S and H version. Reduce the recovery on hit and block. So she's going to be able to act out of it on faster out of hit. I wonder if this is going to allow her to do more combo opportunities that weren't there before. Actually, you know what? So there's a thing with Eno, right? Where if Eno hits you with H stroke, you still get the opportunity to press the button, you know, to press the button to get out of the stagger. But it doesn't matter if you get a perfect on it, because it's H, you can't do nothing about it. I wonder, because it's more plus on counter hit stagger, she now is like just guaranteed to run up command grab you. What if you cannot get out of the command grab with a perfect now because of this reduced recovery now? That could be very scary. Just thinking about that. Ari Sugawa Sparkle. This is the hitbox now remains after the projectile. This is the beach ball. Hitbox now remains after the projectile hits the ground. Oh, interesting. So when it hits the ground, there's like the splash effect is now going to stay out a little bit longer, pretty much. Like the hitbox now is there after it hits the ground. That's going to be pretty interesting. Okay, so you can potentially run into it a little bit more often. You have to be a little bit more wary about that. Oh shoot, boy. Hold on, Axel got the most in this entire patch thus far. The ability to cancel standing P, crouch P, and other pokes during the recovery on hit or block makes his strength more prominent at the preferred ranges. Rainwater now draws the opponent in, both increasing the reward on hit and making it possible for Axel to maintain his offense on block. Standing P can now be special cancel on hit or block until the recovery ends. Oh shoot. Crouching P can now be special cancel on hit or block until the recovery ends. So they were special cancelable, but now he could do it mad late even into the recovery? That is kind of wild. Standing HS, the opponent would now be in crouching state on a grounded counter hit. I wonder what he can do with that. Jump P can now be special cancel on hit or block until the recovery ends. So JP also has the same thing. JK, reduce horizontal blowback distance. JD now launches opponent higher. That's good. So that makes some of his confirms, like where he'll do like, he'll come in with a button and do JD. So like for a double overhead. Now these confirms will be a little bit more consistent because it's going to launch you higher. It already launches you, but now it's going to launch you even higher. So maybe he'll be able to get those bomber loops a little bit more consistent and stuff because of the little bit extra height. Winter Mantis, adjust blowback when used as part of a combo. Now launches higher on hit with decreased horizontal blowback. Added tumble effect. Winter Mantis is the command grab? Yeah, Winter Mantis is the command grab. Okay. So there's a tumble effect now, and it launches higher on hit and adjusts blowback when it's in combos. Okay. Snail is the move where I think he like swings it upwards. So this is increased knockback. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. It's going to increase the knockback, but it's not saying like how much. It's not saying like this is, I'm guessing this is on block. So it's a pretty negative move at like -24. So now you're going to be able to probably not be able to punish this as heavily. I mean, faster characters will probably still be able to punish this, but it's going to be made a little bit more safer because of the increased knockback. And then Rainwater, this is the move where he jumps up in the air. This is the jump up in the air move. Now draws opponent in on hit. Oh, interesting. Now decrease tension balance. Now increase negative value. Okay, yeah. So we were talking about moves that like brings the character backwards. This is another one. So like Happy Chaos is another character that has a move that like moves them backwards. This now has a negative value attached to it, but now it draws the opponent in on hit or block. This could be pretty interesting because it is plus, right? It's a +3 move. So now that is going to bring you in, he's actually going to be able to utilize his plus frames a lot easier now, which is going to definitely help him out for maintaining like an additional pressure situation. So yeah, that's pretty good for him. All right, this boy Chipp. Alpha Blade now sends the opponent flying towards Chipp, making it easier to land more hits. What? They send you in his direction. Oh no. Oh no. So he gets the more hits easier. The reduced startup of Senshu means it can be comboed from Rokusai on crouching hit, making it more rewarding depending on the situation. So the low hit, so his Rekka, the second hit of his Rekka, which is the low, the sweep, now can combo into the overhead when it hits a crouching opponent. So it makes it more rewarding. So now no longer does he have to just stop there. If he sees that you're crouching and you get hit by it and it's not counter hit, he can at least go into the overhead for a little bit more damage. That's what they're trying to do. His forward HS, which is like the little blade move where he like knocks it down on you, the opponent would now be in crouching state on grounded hit. So it puts you in crouching state. I wonder if that helps him with anything. Oh, you know what? I can see how this could benefit. Okay, so this is probably in tandem with like the change that he just got right here. This is good because it's going to give him knockdown situations. So if you don't know, one thing with Chipp is when he hit you and he didn't have meter, what he did was he just did the hits of the Rekka until he couldn't no more, right? He just did like the 2 hits of the Rekka. Well, the Rekka on hit was -6 and the first one is -4. Or no, that's not what they do on block. That's what they're on block. The low is -3 on hit. It's -3 on hit. So now, because he can do 6H and then go into the Rekkas, he can now do the full thing and then get the overhead to hit for at least a knockdown. And then there, he's at least plus, right? So he doesn't have to be in a negative situation no more. That's actually pretty good. So if you get a close slash with him, you can still do the 2S 2H combo, but this is like another route. Or if the 6H just hits raw, this is like a route you could go for or something like that. So it just makes it to where he has a better damage opportunity rather than putting himself in a negative situation. So I see how they're trying to correlate that together. All right, Potemkin. Please, Potemkin. Don't be broke. The additional range for the pokes of far standing slash and standing heavy slash improve his mid-range. God damn it. Damn it, Pot. Come on. Hammerfall also allows for aggressive approaches as the timing Potemkin can withstand attacks is now faster. Oh, so he's going to gain the armor faster now. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. At close ranges, the faster startup of FDB makes it harder for the opponent to escape by jumping, meaning his core throw mix is now more potent. Sweep, reduce recovery. So his sweep isn't going to be as negative. Heat Knuckle, this now draws the opponent in. What? Nah, no. What do you mean? You mean to tell me he's going to be doing Heat Knuckle, the flame on his wrist, and it's going to be vortexing you in? Wait, this the anti-air grab? Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. Okay. I'm getting mixed up. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I'm getting mixed up. Okay, so Heat Knuckle now draws the opponent in on guard crush. Yes, that's the grab. You're right. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting a little too scared here. I thought they were that. I thought Arxis was on some shit. Okay, I really thought they was on some shit. Mega Fist backwards. Now reduce tension balance. That's good. Okay, so now he's going to go into negative values more. Now increase negative value. Okay. So once again, another move that moves the opponent backwards. Special moves. That's the third one that we talked about thus far. We haven't got to Happy Chaos, but we know he's a prime example of that. And in Hammerfall, sped up the timing for when Potemkin can withstand attacks. Expanded lower hitbox. So I guess he can't be low profiled as much. I don't know who was low profile in that, but I guess it can't be low profile that much no more. But yeah, he's gonna gain his armor faster now, so he can now use it. He can now use it a lot more frequently. I don't think he's going to be just doing this in your block strings or anything like that, but it's definitely just going to be a little bit faster. We're going to see how much that actually affects him. And then reduce attack startup of FDB. I believe that is the wall super. Now reduce the startup of that. So that actually will help him out because there is opportunities. This may not be a factor no more. Like they talk about escaping it, but like there's things where like say if you safe jump it, you can throw it because of the startup. Depending on how they reduce it and how it works now, you might just get bodied. Or you may just have to hold it, right? Like, it depends on how they change it. Hopefully, you can still throw it, though. Please. Yeah. But yeah, those are Potemkin changes. Pretty interesting. The Heat Knuckle one, I'm glad it wasn't what I thought it was. But yeah, that's just going to draw you in more. So he got more opportunities to go for something. So he could probably get like a close slash, which is going to be nice for him, of course. And his sweep is now going to have reduced recovery, so he's not going to be as punishable on that anymore. That's going to be nice. Oh, Millie is rad the Faust. Uh-oh. All right. Whew. I gotta prepare myself. The increased knockback on standing heavy slash. Sweep allows Faust to create distance from the opponent, meaning he can use what could this be more? Oh no. The reduced startup for mix make it easier to use in combos, while also making it harder for the opponent to interrupt used in block strings. Great. So he's gonna have better block strings now. Like he can, because when he hits you with mix, he actually does get a combo. He actually does get a combo off raw mix. So he's now gonna get better combos off that, and basically everything is going to knock you back more. So he has more time to toss out items. That's basically what they're saying. Air dash, sped up timing of the input buffer window. Crouching P, reduce the upper hurt box. Interesting. So they're just reducing the hurt box. Okay. And then all his things, so 6P, increased knockback, standing HS, increased knockback, sweep, increased knockback. He's just now going to have more time to toss out an item off all these hits, which is going to be good for him. I believe standing HS is the one where he like stabs you and it like knocks you down. I think that's that one. 6P is obviously the big swipe, and his sweep is just like him, like just swiping the ground. Mix, all variations, decrease attack startup. So this is going to have faster startup now. Dang, they increased the startup of mix, or decreased the startup of, yeah, of mix, and his other thing is Scarecrow. So he's just getting better, faster startups all over the board, bro. And Scarecrow now reduce lower hurt box. So they reduced the lower hurt box, so you can't hit him. Interesting. So it's gonna be harder to hit him low now. I don't know exactly what that will entail. So I guess when he's spinning, they want to make it to where he's like considered a little bit more airborne. So maybe attacks that hit like very low, like 2Ks, won't be able to hit him as much, or probably not at all. We'll have to see how that works. That sounds pretty interesting. That definitely gonna need some testing. So overall, the balance changes so far are like, they seem pretty like minor. Like I said, it seems like the biggest thing they're trying to do here is honestly like system changes for system changes, and the system changes are just in conjunction with like the minor changes that characters are getting. Like they're getting like little nice quality of life changes, right? So nothing really like super big that it seems like. It doesn't seem like it's as big as the last patch as far as like how heavy they were on the characters. This one is mainly about changing the system of the game and changing the game in a direction that they want the future of Strive to be in. All right, the moment we wait for, Millia, bro. Millia. Okay. The increased attack level of Tandem Top makes it less risky for Millia to use in strings and during neutral. She can now have access to powerful mix-ups in more situations, as she can cross up the opponent using Turbo Fall even in the corner. Bro, you can Turbo Fall in the corner and cross up? Oh, we got the Leo treatment. Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on. 6K. Reduce recovery. Oh! Yo, they get... Okay. So I said I wanted 6K. I said I wanted 6K to be airborne, but they didn't give that to me. But they just said we can now combo from 6K, and our 6K is now plus again, is what I'm basically hearing. 6K is -1. Unless the reduced recovery makes it to where it's just 0 now, I would imagine they would just make it +1 again. I hope it's +1 again. That means if it gets blocked, I get my plus frames. So now the move is more, it has more use. If it gets blocked, I can reset pressure rather than having to go into a special move because I'm minus. That would be good. So I hope that's the case. That sounds good so far. Standing heavy slash now bounces the opponent higher with decreased horizontal knockback. So there's times where like you hit the opponent up, because Millia's close slash now launches the opponent. So if you do like close slash 2S and then 5H really fast on like counter hit, it'll knock the opponent away, right? So I guess that like knock away is going to be a little bit higher and decrease the knockback of that. Is what they're saying, I'm guessing from that. Forward heavy slash. This is, oh, they decreased the attack startup of forward heavy slash. So right now there's a gap between close slash and 6H, right? I'm thinking with the decreased attack startup between close slash now being plus and this, you can now have the option to make close slash 6H a true block string if you want to. Maybe that's what they're doing here, which would be nice. And they actually did it. Oh my sweet. I literally made this video. If you watched my YouTube video earlier today, I said sweep having the recovery it does definitely messes her up. There's a lot of characters in the game that can do 2K2D and can't get punished the way she can. If she does 2K2D, literally you could do whatever you want there. You could super her, you could DP her, and it was always punished because everything else has a gap between it, and other characters could just do sweep and they can't be DP'd or super like she could. Now she probably is going to be much more safer. That's a great change for her. That's a good change. That's a very good change. Ground throw. Frame advantage and distance after a successful throw is now the same against all characters. It was different? Okay, if that was a thing, I definitely didn't know that it was different frame advantage. I know there's like different ways they hit the ground though. So like there was like little setups we would do like with 5P for like frame kills that wouldn't work on certain characters because they were like so big, like their hurt box was just like large, so you would hit them. Turbo fall. So Millia can now move to the other side of the opponent even when they are in the corner. Reduce the hurt box behind Millia. So you're no longer going to be able to hit her from like when she's crossing as much. And she could cross you up in the corner. So this probably would make things, I wonder if this would make things like, nah, you probably can't do it like that. I was thinking like 6H, like 6H turbo fall. That probably wouldn't be a thing. You probably wouldn't cross up with that. But definitely if you do like close slash air dash jump H and then turbo fall from there, you'll definitely cross the opponent up. So that could be pretty interesting. I wonder how that's going to actually play out. That's going to be pretty interesting. I wonder if people are just going to react and throw though. We'll see. Tandem top though, increase attack level. Oh, for all versions. That's actually good. Okay, so there's another thing that happens with Millia, right? Like if you do heavy tandem top after a mix up, right? And say if you go low, like you do 2K, they block it, and you try to like dash in for like a micro 2K, like to like use the frame advantage, because basically you'll do 2K, disc will hit, and then you'll try to dash in. It's not enough frame advantage from that hit to actually run in, and you could get like 2K back. So now that it's going to be increased attack level, that means it's going to have more block stun, which means when you do that 2K after the disc and then the disc hits, you're going to have more time to run in to actually utilize those plus frames. Like I said, they're really making this patch seems like they're really trying to focus on the actual system changes, and then just the characters are getting slight tweaks, little quality of lives around those changes. It seems like just little quality of lives around the changes that they're making to the system. I think this is a good start for Millia. Obviously there's things that I would definitely want to see more of, but I think this is a step in the right direction with the reduces that I was talking about. Like certain tools just I didn't understand why they were like that. Turbo fall, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like that could be good, it could be not so great. We'll have to see how that works. But the sweep thing is definitely very good. That the 6HS could definitely be very good, depending on how decreased the attack startup is. And 6K, if that's plus again, that's also a chef kiss. It's great. All right, Zato, bro. Zato 1. The ability to move only Zato or only Eddie during Break the Law opens up new possibilities for strings. Oh my god. The reduced hurt box on activation of Sun Void makes it more difficult for the opponent to interrupt it when used in block strings. So 6K, this is his overhead, right? Reduce the recovery, decrease knockback. Okay, so it got reduced recovery on it, so it's not going to be as punishable, I guess. I don't think anybody ever did this really that much, and even if they did, they usually got Eddie, right? And decrease knockback. Okay. Jumping D. So this is the move that everybody wanted changed, right? Better the timing when Zato pause before the attack is active. Better the timing when Zato is paused before the attack is active. I don't know exactly what that means, but hopefully whatever this jump D issue that people were complaining about a while back, that I stopped seeing people complain about after a while, hopefully that fixes that issue. Only Eddie would now move with the down and right inputs. Eddie would no longer move with the up back and up forward inputs. So with Break the Law, interesting. Increase forward momentum's movement speed, so it's now faster, and the tension balance now decrease in negative values. Increase only when moving away. Oh, that's cool. So they actually did it for this move too. So when you're moving backwards with Break the Law, you get access to the negative penalty too. Okay. And then Sun Void is a super. Reduce the frontal hurt box. I don't know too many people that was smacking this thing like that, but yeah, I mean maybe Nago. But yeah, it's gonna be a little bit harder to, I guess, punish this tool. I guess the Break the Law is gonna allow for like some new, like I said, new block string possibilities or new mix-up opportunities because you can now use them separately. They don't have to move at the same time. So I'm very interested to see how people utilize that. That's probably the biggest change here, to be honest. The JD thing, if it is what people wanted, is probably just a little bit extra stability, and the other two are just pretty much like whatever. The additional range on crouching HS makes it easier to go into highly damaging combos, making her more threatening at close range. JD now works better as a jump in due to the additional hitbox behind Rambathal. Oh, hitbox behind her, so it's going to be able to cross up a lot better. Arrow Lamo was a potent offensive tool from any situation. The damage and situation on hit has been reworked. Praise be. Oh, y'all realize this Rekka was working people, huh? Y'all realize this Rekka was working. So crouching heavy slash is now going to have frontal hitbox expansion. That could be pretty good. Maybe now she could do like close slash 2S into crouching heavy a lot more consistently now because of the expanded hurt box. So that can be pretty good for her. Not that she needed it. Jump D is now better and decreased damage on all versions of P. So basically Rekka is going to do lower damage now. And third hit, the opponent can now recover after wait, third hit all versions during second hit. It no longer hard knocks down. Oh, I like that. I like that. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's big. That is huge. That's huge. If I just get to roll backwards after that now and she can't chase me as well, that's huge. That is huge because of the recovery it has. Yeah, that could be pretty huge. Like fast get ups in this game are pretty fast compared to like the recovery some things have. She probably will not be able to like run up and like put a proper media on you. Like she's not going to be able to, for sure. She may be at a close slash. I mean, not close slash, far slash, maybe a heavy slash. She's not going to be able to run up and close slash you no more. No way. Not with a fast get up. That's not going to happen. That's actually a big nerf. The adjustment to knockback and blowback for 6k in the increased range of whatever this move name is makes it more viable in combos and forming strong block strings. Sweep launches the opponent higher on hit, gives Leo more of an advantage, making it easier for him to go into Okazeme. So after sweep, he can now just go into back turn more, pretty much. So certain hurt boxes, expanded hurt boxes. So certain hurt boxes got expanded. We don't know which ones. You don't know either, but they got expanded. That's what they said. 6k, decreased blowback and decreased horizontal knockback distance. I don't know if that was difficult for him to use in combos. Well, there were combos that you would like do you would do like 6k and like try to go into DP and the DP will whiff because of the knockback. That DP combo may be a lot more consistent now because of the decreased knockback. That actually may be pretty good for him. Sweep now launches higher, so now he's going to be able to get more advantage for his back turn. And that's 236S, right? So that's the when he dashes in with the two little swords or whatever. Expanded frontal hitbox and hurtbox. So it hits in front of him a lot better now. The only thing I have to look at is the hurt boxes, bro. Maybe the hurt boxes make things easier, but right now, Leo's still looking like Leo. Leo's still looking like Leo, bro. Oh Lord, Straw still looking like Straw, bro. Bro, I swear this man got buffs. I swear to my mother, bro. If they buff this dude, his defense now varies with the current. Bro, last time they did this, last time they said something changed with his blood gauge. The base value was the original value and it just got better with blood gauge. So are you telling me his defense is going to be the defense he got now, and then when he got blood gauge 2 is going to be even better defense? Because that's what I'm hearing, because that's what happened last time. The damage and attack properties of his normal moves still increase the higher his blood gauge gets. Yes, but now he also takes heavier damage from the opponent, meaning he needs to consider any risk he takes in neutral. Oh, so when he has higher blood gauge, you now do more damage to him. Oh, okay. It's the opposite. Okay, so his defense now varies with the amount of blood gauge, meaning it goes down now. It goes down. His defense gets worse. Crouching HS and we won, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. No longer do I gotta look at this man. I could probably whip punish him now. Hopefully whip punish has been added to the game. It sounds like it. Bar standing slash. Final following up hit. Reduced recovery. Okay, so the last hit where he slashes you down, it has less recovery now. I mean, it did have a long ass animation. he was sitting there forever. Standing heavy slash. Reduce lowered lower hitbox. So now you can low profile it a lot better. Okay, cool. And Fukio, which is when he like dashes in, now reduces tension. Oh, when he goes backwards, right? When he goes backwards. Oh, this son of a bitch was never getting negative penalty for going backwards. Oh, god dang, he had it easy, huh? So this is pretty good. Pretty much he's got nerf defense when he has higher blood gauge, but he's obviously going to do the damage that he does still. So basically it's saying like when you have that blood gauge, you're taking a risk. You're going to have the better normals, the better damage, but now you take more damage as well. And now he can no longer spam crouch and slash as much as he could before. It's now going to be easier to whip punish that tool. The last hit of standing slash having reduced recovery, that's whatever. I mean, it's still going to be punishable if he does it on block with no meter, which nobody does. And on the hit, I guess now, you know, he just gets a little bit more frame advantage. That's whatever. Reduce lower hurt box. That could be nice because you could possibly go under it a little bit easier now. And Fukio, he just now gets, you know, negative penalty. So it's a nice start. Once again, this balance patch definitely seemed like it's just going in the direction of we got these system changes that we're really trying to push to change the flow of the game. But here are some balance changes around the same area. I really think like, honestly, I think like this is like small for the characters. Like this is supposed to be small for the characters and we're going to get a bigger balance patch for characters later. But they mainly just wanted to focus on the system. I feel like somewhat like, I don't know, like 4 to 5 months from now, like next year, you know, it's like summer next year, we're going to get a balanced patch that's going to really change the characters. But they really wanted to focus on system this time around. Giovanna. Crouching heavy slash now draws the opponent in, creating major changes in her combos. Oh, so you got combo changes. Using it with Soul Puente can lead to higher reward than before. She has access to more powerful combos in a corner due to the new wall bounce effect of standing heavy slash. So standing heavy slash now bounces the opponent higher. Oh, interesting. So they added a wall bounce and it bounces higher. Dang. Okay. So you can now bounce higher. Crouching heavy slash is a move where like she kicks upwards. It now draws the opponent in. So it's gonna be easier for her to do like close slash 2H, do like 214K, and then like press like 5K again, 214K, something like that, or going for like other confirms. It's gonna be easier for her to do confirms like that because of the pull in from the crouching heavy slash itself. Ground throw frame advantage and distance after successful throw is now the same against all characters. And Millia had the same change. I really don't know what that means for them. 214S, reduce lower hurt box, now less likely to end up behind the opponent when the first hit hits the opponent near the corner. Okay. 214S, just I guess this is the ground version. The first hit now launches the opponent higher with decreased horizontal blowback. The first hit now launches the opponent less than before, then used multiple times in one combo. So it has gravity scaling to it now. Oh, so the loop combos that people used to do with her, I guess aren't going to be a thing as much no more. And I guess the initial hit now launches higher, so you probably get more opportunities to do follow-ups. Anji. Standing heavy slash now launches the opponent on ground hit. Really? Standing heavy slash launches? So the move that's like this, where he like, you know, puts the fans out, that's the standing heavy slash. Launches on grounded hit, making it possible to combo from Fujin to Rin. Wow. And then goes into Okizeme, meaning he not only has access to more combo routes, but they also lead to better situations for him. Nagia gives Anji more advantage now due to the blowback adjustment, making it easier for him to maintain his offense. Oh, Nagia is the S follow-up. Okay, got you. Right, so that's the low follow-up. Okay. Now launches the opponent higher with decreased horizontal knockback. So basically he basically is going to have better frame advantage on it, because it's going to launch them higher, so they're going to land a little bit later. So even though you know he doesn't have like the longest time to like run up after it hits, like especially mid-screen, he's going to have a little bit more time. These changes are pretty good. The 6P change is a godsend for him, because 6P is not the best. This would definitely help out. Expanded frontal hitbox, he needed that. He definitely needed that. Is launching higher. I mean, launching on a grounded hit now. That sounds kind of wild. So they're basically saying like now he's gonna get mad damage because basically he could do like close slash, heavy slash, Fusion. Fusion is gonna launch you now, or not? No, heavy slash is gonna launch you now. So then after you do the Fusion, you're gonna go into the Ren. That's gonna bounce you again, and then he could continue from there. I think from the bounce he does like what 2H into the spin flip with the umbrella that goes up in the air. He's gonna get some big damage. Yeah, he's gonna do like go into Ko or something. All right, Eno, what you got? She can now jump cancel in the beginning of her hover dash. Oh, that's gonna make her moving a lot more trickier. This allows her move to greater. This allows her to move a greater distance forward with a standard jump. Interesting. Combined with the reduction of sultry performance, landing recovery, she can now have greater arsenal of approach options from midair. So dash, startup can now be jump canceled. Sped up timing when Eno can block. Dang, they already did that before too. So she's gonna be able to block out of her dash even faster now. The timing is now the same as when canceling the startup of a jump attack with faultless defense. Okay. It fixed the bug. Air dash. The motion can now be interrupted if a backwards direction has been inputted. Antidepressant scale P. This is the projectile. Add a proximity requirement for the attack to connect. And expanded the hitbox on the hit or block. Stroke the big tree. Reduce hurt box before movement begins. The upper hurt box of the attack steadily decreases as the move comes out. So it's going to go down more gradually. This change reduces the hurt box for the set timing when it extended too high. And then sultry performance. Oh, okay, that's the air move. That's the air move. Reduce the landing recovery. Okay, so the landing recovery right now is like 18 frames of landing recovery on both the K and S. So now it's going to have less landing recovery. So when you hit somebody with it, you're now going to be able to act faster out of it, which is going to help out a lot because now make her like safe jumps and stuff a little bit easier to do. I wonder if she's going to be able to like dash and then jump cancel and like carry the momentum and like get safe jumps a little bit easier from that, because you could cancel like immediately into a jump now. Like the startup can now be jump canceled. So I wonder if that momentum will carry from the dash itself. That sounds pretty interesting. Goldlewis, yo, take this man out of the game, bro. 5K, which is a stomp. Added stagger effect on counter hit. He didn't need that. Expanded the hurt box of jumping heavy slash. Behind Goldlewis, making it easier to connect after jumping over the opponent. So they want him to be crossing up as good as he does. They want to make it better. This makes his pressure from close range even more potent. Thunderbird now disappears when Goldlewis take damage, making it more challenging to launch an aggressive approach. Oh, yes. Nice. Nice. That is the projectile. The Thunderbird is the projectile. So it now disappears when he takes damage. The hit effect of the final hit now varies depending on the security level. It now goes away when he gets hit. No longer can they just hide behind that thing and then like it's just there. If I hit him, which means if you burst him, which is a hitbox, you don't get stuck in the corner by this thing just sitting there. You burst and your burst actually matters. And if you hit him while it's out, like say if you, because you could make it not come out if you hit the startup, but if you just miss the startup and you trade with it, it'll now just go away. And now you're not just dying because you traded with it. And so like he's out of hit stun and you're still getting hit by that. So then he gets to run up and then do whatever he wants, right? So no longer would those situations happen. Praise be. Burn it down. Increase the number of hits. That is the super where he does the eye flash. Okay. All right, DBC. I hope they took your character out of the game, bro. No hard feelings. You feel me? Service now fly higher and further when hit with crouching S. Oh no. This makes it viable not only as a starting point for offense, but also in powerful strings, making use of the time difference before attacks hit. The changes to countdown launch on hit makes it easier for Jacko to go into combos after blocking the explosion. Change the servant trajectory when hitting them with this attack. They will now move higher and further. Okay, so basically you get different trajectories as far as the minions go. Dust attack. Reduce frontal hurt box, making the attack active frames in. After the attack active frames in. Okay. So it's going to be harder to punish her dust on block. Servants, fix the bug causing them to unintended servant behavior when a servant hitbox touches another servant under certain conditions. So just a bug change. Wall bounce effect. So throw servant, attack button while holding. Added a wall bounce effect. Oh lord, whatever that's gonna do, bro. So when you throw them now, it's gonna have a wall bounce effect. So I guess in the corner, she's gonna be throwing these shits at you, and you just gonna be bouncing off the wall. Okay. Release servant would now register input when the button is held as well, and countdown, which is the explosion. Adjusted launch, increased timing. Wait, adjusted launch, increasing timing when follow-up attacks are possible. Oh, so I guess when the explosion happens, it's going to make it launch higher, and you got more time to basically do follow-up attacks afterwards. So you can basically combo it a little bit easier. But no one really uses explosion like that, right? It's not really a thing that you really see utilized. So that change don't really seem that much. Crouching edge change is probably the biggest one here, along with the wall bounce effect. Like, those are the two biggest ones: the throw servant thing and the crouching S. Okay, she's safe. All right, come on, bro. Let this Mickey Mouse character, like, take him out, bro. All right, happy chaos, please. All right, so JD now draws the opponent and making it easier to lead into advantageous situation. At close, that's the move where he goes behind you. And then 6K could easily be included in combos from any situation, and it was extremely powerful in maintaining offense on block. Yes, the startup has been increased. Okay, nice, that's good. Because it is a low, and like it was just bopping us. And it no longer hits consecutively from crouching K, meaning different moves will be needed for different situations. Okay, cool. So he has to change up his routing a little bit. So increase the startup attack, now launches the opponent higher. 6S is the punch. Now launches the opponent higher. So buffed. JD buffed. Now vacuums you in. At the ready, that is going to be his stance. His H stance, right? Reduce recovery when activated with no concentration. So he got buffed. So for them being bad and not realizing they have no concentration, when they activated it, they aren't going to have that much recovery no more. Cancel aim can now be activated with down forward or down back inputs. All right. Scapegoat now reduces tension balance. Praise be. Nice. And curse now reduces. So both of them moves now reduce. You can't just do those infinitely and not go into negative penalty. So he got to be careful. If he's not getting the curse on you, he kind of is forced to come in a little bit, because he can't just keep trying or he'll get into negative. This patch is really just quality of life, man. They're touching characters, but not like touching them, you know. Last time they was all up in these characters. Baiken is more of a threat at close range now. As she can easily follow up on the cross up Yozanzen mix up. So that mix up that people be doing, she can follow it up now. I expanded the hitbox of the explosion part of Kenju, which is the super. It can now function better as a poke and combos, right? That's the explosion you're talking about? Yeah, that's the super, yeah. So better as a poke and combo. There are combos you could do where like you can like shoot behind and then it can launch them forward towards you. Maybe it's talking about stuff like that, because there are some combos like that and it's a little bit hard to like utilize. So Takami Gashi, all versions, remove usage restriction. What does that mean? Does that mean air restriction? Does that mean does that mean like the air height restriction? So is she gonna be able to IED back Matt now like she can in Exard? Oh no, if that's what that means, bro. Oh, that is pretty strong. That sounds like IED Matt is back in the game. Remove usage restrictions. I can't think of any other restriction in the game other than the height restriction. That was the only restriction I could think of with Matt, was the height restriction. There was a height restriction. You had to be at a certain height for the mat to come out. Yozanzen increased horizontal blowback distance of the later half of the active frames. So basically, if you do the cross up, you can now follow it up. So, you know, she's getting air combos off of a good overhead while Millia is still dying off of it. Kenju expanded the hitbox of the explosion. Okay, so probably easier to do combos now. Like I was saying, there's combos where you can like shoot it behind, it blows them back in front of you, and you can combo off of it. Testament. Grave Reaper can now be used back to back, greatly improving Testament's control over neutral. Wait, can be used back to back? Crouching HS now draws the opponent in, opening up new uses in combos and block strings. Oh, interesting. So it now has a vortex effect on it. So Grave Reaper removed usage restriction. So now Testament is just going to be able to be chucking these bitches. She's just going to be chucking these little skulls, huh? These little skulls is going to be getting chucked. So the heavy slash version, reduce knockback of the strike part. Oh, so it's going to be easier to combo. There has been times where it's kind of hard to combo off that. Now it's going to be a little bit easier to combo off that, especially when you're like trying to do those combos where you got to do like the little like, because there's like 3 different holds of it, and the different holds give you like different heights. Now, because of the different knockbacks, you can probably make the combos a little bit easier from the different hold standpoints. Increase active frames of the first and second hit. All right, so Testament, their super is going to have more active frames. Okay, cool. So it's just more active. I don't think that was ever an issue for them. They already fixed the main issue where it didn't go far enough. Now it just goes far. Now it just has more active frames. Okay. Bridget has more opportunities to launch her offense from neutral due to the increased projectile speed and reduced recovery to stop and dash. She has more potent options available from rolling movement connects, as the changes to the knockback trajectory create less distance with the opponent and leaves Bridget at more of an advantage. So crouching P, expanded lower hitbox and hurtbox. Okay, let me pull up Bridget stuff because I actually don't know too much about this character. This is when I like stopped playing Strive for a bit. 6 speed, I know that was like the ring around overhead. Now causes blowback on hit when the opponent is standing. Interesting. So it like functions like Faust. The blowback is the same as when hitting a crouching opponent. Command normal 4. Right, that's like the double hit things, right? The follow-ups. Expanded lower hitbox and hurtbox. Okay, same thing with the other one. Increased damage, so it has more damage. Increased movement speed of projectile, and expanded the proximity requirement for the attack. So stop and dash is going to be the actual thing where they're on like the little skates, right? That's the skate move. Oh, stop and dash is throwing the projectile. Stop and dash, so that's going to have more damage. You're going to increase the movement speed of it coming out, so it's going to come at you faster. Okay, cool. That's pretty interesting. So it's going to have better damage on that, and it's going to come at you faster. Okay. And it's going to have reduced recovery. So I guess the time for when you can use it again is going to be better. Rolling movement. This is when they turn into the Blanca ball. Decrease knockback, so it's going to be easier to do confirms from it. Increase descent speed on hit or block, so you're going to be able to keep more frame advantage better because you're going to land faster, so that means you can press your next button quicker. When activated, as the yo-yo returns to Bridget, she now moves towards where the yo-yo is placed. Oh, so there, I guess there was a thing where if the yo-yo is coming back, you kind of just move to where the yo-yo is coming to you, but now it still goes to where it was actually placed originally. Counter hit state now ends at the same time as the active frame, so it's not going to be in as much counter hit state as it was before. Starship is the DP. Fixing a bug where it will sometimes enter a blocking pose. Okay, interesting. Kickstart my heart. This is the roller move I was talking about. Expanded proximity requirement for the attack to connect. So it seems like for a lot of projectiles, they're doing this expanded proximity thing. We'll definitely have to see how that like plays out, like how it works. I'm not too like I've seen it in like the pictures, but I need to actually like test it to get my theories actually on par with that. So this is like from the kickstart my heart, you can actually, just break it. Expanded hitbox, upper hitbox. This is like the little spark that comes out. Reduce launch with decreased horizontal blowback. Added tumble effect. So now they tumble when they get hit by it. It's not going to launch as much. Is that a good thing? And super now has more hits. So the bear will probably just do more damage. This is the will super, the flaming will super. How you guys feel about Bridget changes? I really want to know what this other change is though for the break. The upper hitbox and reduced launch. I wonder if this is going to be a pretty important change. I wonder how impactful that's going to be for Bridget. Yeah, I haven't put enough Bridget out to see the judge too. I think that's what it pretty much comes down to. It sounds good on paper. Obviously, they got the most changes here, and it all sounds for the most part pretty positive. So I can only imagine it's pretty good. Bruh, this man got no changes. There's no character specific changes to Sin, as he was released quite recently. Only the universal changes to the tension gate, risk level, base damage scaling will apply. Okay. This patch really seems like they're really just buckling down on the system change. They really want to go in on the system universal changes. This is like the meat of this. I feel like the meat of this patch is really this network crossplay thing that's coming to the game. You know, the crossplay that's coming, and these system changes and the quality of life changes that the characters have got in balance in tandem with the actual system changes, right? I think honestly the next big patch that we're going to get for Strive is going to really go deep into the way they want to portray the characters now that they're fleshing out the new system in the direction of the game that they wanted to go in the future. I think that's where we're going to be getting next patch, and once again, that's probably going to be sometime in the summer, but I truly think that's going to be the big one. I haven't checked out any other people's opinions yet, but I'm pretty sure when I start looking at people's opinions, they're going to be very underwhelmed, and people are going to be pretty upset that the characters that were strong before are still as strong as they were before. A lot of people are probably about to state in these notes or on Twitter right now, just quoting it. People are going to say the game is the same. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people are about to say the game is the same. But yeah, overall, I think it's okay, man. I think the patch is fine. Like I said, really got to see how the system changes are. Hopefully, Millia is in a better place. We'll see over time. But really, these system changes are really going to come down to, honestly, like, it's rewarding defense, but do you got defense, honestly? So, yes, they're rewarding defense now, and that could probably help out a player or a character that has, you know, pretty bad defense. But at the end of the day, you still got to have some defensive capabilities to make use of these system changes. So that's really what it's going to come down to. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see how it actually comes out. December 15th, man, not too long from now, and we'll be playing it and trying it out. And I'll be giving my first initial impressions and thoughts once the game officially come out of Millia and the patch itself, once we be able to break things down once everything comes out. So yeah, I think that's pretty good, man. Seems pretty good.